One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever received was to stop aiming for perfection. What that means is, imagine you've got a task or like a project that has multiple parts, and you want to just make sure that every part is perfect. So you start the first part and you focus on it and you refine it and you change it, you fix it and you work on it and work on it, work on it, work on it. And you're trying to get it perfect. You're trying to make that part the best you can. Unfortunately, if you go down that path of trying to make that part perfect, you're neglecting all of the other parts. So overall, your whole project is effectively useless because you've got only one perfect part and the rest isn't, just isn't at that same standard. The alternative option that I like to use is to focus on all of the different parts and build them all up. So let's say you've got a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, 0 being the worst. Rather than making one component a 9 or a 10 and the rest zeros, I'd prefer to make them all 2s, and then make them all 5s, and then make them all 7s. Ideally, I would focus on what the worst component is and build that up from there. I use this approach in a lot of areas of my life, from my website design to writing books, even to my martial arts training. A coach of mine once said to me, focus on your worst area and make it your strength. What that means in terms of martial arts is putting yourself into bad situations that you're not that good at, and learning to fight from there. Why is that good? Well, because if you can make that part of yourself or that system or whatever you're doing the strongest part, you can now, you're now operating on all of your strengths. Apply that same thing to every part of your life, to your business, to your work, to your hobbies, to whatever. Because that way, every single part gets to be the same level and they all start slowly moving up. So if you don't aim for perfection, but you slowly, systematically improve each part, the whole will be completely functional and a lot more just user-friendly from the start. The final component of this is that until you've got a good understanding of what your project will look like as a whole, you won't really even know what perfect will look like. So take writing, for example. When I first started writing, I wanted to get the title perfect. So I'll think about it, focus on it and work it out. And finally I'd be somewhat happy and I'd start writing. But by the end of the time when I finished writing, I realized that the title that I worked out at the start wasn't appropriate anymore, so I had to change it anyway. And at some times it was so bad that it would take me almost as long to figure out the title as it would to write the piece. Now, the approach that I take now is to use a working title and just start writing. Why? Because I know that the title will come, but I need to see what the whole work will look like before I actually, can commit a title to be fully complete and perfect. So, in general, unless you know what the whole picture is, it's sort of a bit folly to start trying to make everything perfect. Get it to a workable standard, maybe 50%, maybe 70%, and just go on to the next thing. Get the task done, move on, and know that you'll come back to it. And you will come back to it, because if you're a perfectionist, you'll want to make it good. But just be aware that if you're focusing on the one part of the task at the detriment of all the other parts, then your task isn't perfect at all then, is it? This tip is from my next book, How to Get Your Shit Together. So if you like this tip and you want to listen to more, well, subscribe to me for a start, but also head over to my website at zachary-phillips.com/getyourstogether, and from there you'll be able to read more information about the book, as well as sign up to my email list, and that way you'll be the first to know when it's released